What's good, YouTube? It's jazzlovesmma here, and I'm going to be breaking down UFC Fight Night, Serbia, Belgrade, Uros match versus Daniel Rodriguez or D-Rod. Starting with the first fight of the night, Marina Spasic versus Stephanie Luciano. Spasic is making her UFC debut, but Stephanie Luciano is not a veteran or like a person who's been here for a while, but she's been in the UFC. She's fought some decent competition. Let me move my mic. And she's fairly skilled, and I rate her as a unranked women's MMA fighter. Should I just pick Spasic because she is the hometown fighter? She's Serbian, maybe. But I'm gonna trust in the favorite of Stephanie Luciano to win this by being able to mix it up. She has really good striking, really good grappling. She can mix it up. She has good subs. She showed that in her last fight. But she's been out for a while. I don't know why. Maybe she's had like a minor injury that's kept her out. I don't know. I think she was supposed to fight earlier this year. I have no idea again too. But I do think she'll win this by like maybe 29-28 decision. I don't think Spasic has been finished. If I stand corrected. She has one loss. I think she lost it by decision. Yeah. I'm thinking about the other MMA fighter that's on the card. So yeah, I think Luciano's just gonna edge it out. I think the experience is gonna be a little bit too much. She's been in the UFC for a little bit now. She's fought some decent competition as well. I believe I forgot her name, but she fought someone pretty good, and then she may have lost a close decision to her. Sam Hughes. I rate Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes is pretty good. I think she lost her last fight. Or she didn't look that good. Let me make sure I'm talking about the right fighter, dude. She must have lost her last fight. Yeah, she lost her last fight to Pierre Rodriguez. But it was a split decision. I think watching live, I thought Luciano won. But Sam Hughes is someone I also rate. Right? It was the grappling, and Spasic could be a grappler for all I know. I'm a casual, but I'm gonna lean Luciano here. I'm taking way too much time on this fight. Moving on to Jovan Leka versus Alexander Popik, a little heavyweight slot fight. Jovan Leka came off a heavyweight slot fight on his Dana White Contender Series fight. They didn't sign him, I think, because it was a really boring, unimpressive win. I think he got like a couple takedowns, and he kind of just dominated that way. And like maybe got like a couple rocks on the feet. He got 2 wins. He was supposed to fight Max Jimenez on here, but he's fighting Alexander Popek, coming on short notice. A former, as you can tell by his grayish picture, and what he looks like, this is like a Ward picture. He fought in the Contender Series ages ago against Jamal Hill when Jamal Hill was still undefeated, and when he was still skinny and like decently in shape, not blobby or flabby. He's 34 years old, and he's taking this on short notice. I really kind of wanted to pick him because he has a nasty KO record. But I am just going to lean Jovan Leka. Maybe the switch of opponents is a little too much for him. But I do think that he's going to win this. He is pretty skilled. He just had a really boring fight in the contenders, and that's something I don't really necessarily rate. Popek is probably coming up in weight as well. I think he's a 205er. Saw someone on Twitter say that he was planning on going to 185. So I don't really know how that's going to be for him. I don't know how undersized he'll look in this matchup. Leka is like a wide, big dude. He's young as well. He has like he doesn't have the most like extravagant resume or record. He's like 13-2. But he's decent. He's beat some decent comp. I'm going to pick him to win this by a blob decision. Maybe he gets a finish and he gets in Serbia's debut, but I think it'll be a fat, unranked heavyweight decision where he just out-wrestles him. Moving on to... Also, if you want to see what current Popek looks like, I have this here because I know a couple fights aren't on here. This is how this dude looks now. Oh, of course, topology with its ads. I was going to have topology up for this. Oh, this makes it so much easier. He's 13-2. 21-5 isn't a bad record for Popek, but he looks old as shit. If I'm being real. Yeah. Moving on to Nina Milosevic. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Versus Haley Cohen. Cohen got finished her last fight by what was her name? It's not. Is it Alice Pereira? I think it's Alice Pereira. And Eileen is Alex Pereira's actual sister. I looked at this all a while ago when I was originally doing picks, but it's completely gotten out of my mind. I swear it might be Eileen. No, it's Alice. It's Alice Pereira, I was right. Yeah, she got KO'd brutally by that knee. She was getting rocked on the feet constantly, but she was able to hold Alice down for like a whole round in the second until she got kneed. I'm just gonna lead Nina Milosevic. She doesn't have the craziest finishing like on her records, but she should. I think she should be able to win this against Cohen. Cohen's just like an old woman out there. She looks like someone my mom knows, you know? She fights and looks like somebody my mom would know and will work with. So I just can't trust Haley Cohen to win a fight. So I'm just gonna trust in Nina Milosevic. 8-1, decent record. I think her only losses come by decision. So there's a chance. There's a chance he loses here. I'm trying to see her record, like her finishing record. Because I think she has like 3 decisions, two subs, yeah. 3 decisions, 2 subs, 3 TKOs. She's coming off a decision as well against an undefeated fighter, to be fair. And I don't know how much I rate her, but yeah. I think she'll just get a decision here. I don't know if she'll be able to finish Cohen. Cohen may be a little bit too tough and gritty and old woman veteranship. Moving on to, I'm picking Nia by decision. Moving up, starting, I really think this card's going to start off really boring. Kind of like this past weekend. Moving on to Mateus Rebecki versus Kyle Prepelic. Rebecki, a southpaw, little juggernaut fighter. He's a bit of a brawler. He has a good left hand. He's coming off, I think, a bit of a loss streak. Chris Duncan decision. We got damaged badly. After he fought to Ludovic Klein, we'll talk about a little bit. Damaged badly. Or not like facially, like he did in the Duncan fight, but got rocked a bunch, got his face a little bit swollen. And against Grant Dawson, he got cut, he got swollen, and he got subbed in the third. Prepelic is a tough, gritty dude. He has decent striking, but he fights a bit like an old man. He's like old man plotty striking. He fights stiff. And in his last fight, I think it was against Drew Dober. And Drew Dober is a short, fast southpaw. So I am very worried from a pick here because I am picking Rebecki because I think I rate Drew Dober skill-wise a little bit higher than Rebecki. Like, Drew Dober has speed, he has pop, and like, Prepelic was able to lock in, and he was able to rock him with a head kick, and I think that head kick will be, I think it was the head kick he was able to rock Drew Dober with, because I also think Prepelic himself is a southpaw. So he could do it, but I just don't know if I rate Prepelic in the, like, he's not as good as Dawson, and even Dawson, Rebecki lost the Dawson fight due to being dumb. The Klein fight, he was just getting speed mogged on the feet. Prepelic isn't going to do that. He's not going to get outsped here. He's not going to be outclassed here. Against Chris Duncan, Chris Duncan's huge. He is slow and lethargic, but he has good counters. He has good elbows. He has youth on his side as well. I'm not saying Rebecki is young, but Prepelic's old. He's like 38-7, I think. He's like really old. I'm going to double check. He also already has the Brazilian 10. I just skipped it. He's 36. Okay, I overrated it. But 36 is really old. And he's taking some damage. He got KO'd in his last fight against Drew Dober. And which, yes, against Drew Dober, he did get nutshot badly. Still felt like Drew Dober was on the way to finishing him. You know, you could say that Drew Dober saw black for a second, then that's how he got the finish. But he was doing very good in round 1. I will give Prepelic a thing. He does have a decent chin. And he doesn't get finished early. And I don't think Rebecki will get an early finish. But I can see him dragging this out and just doing damage And just, if he needs to go, I think he needs to go to the grappling, he can go to it. Saint Denis, I think probably was doing decent against Saint Denis, but Rebecca has some good takedowns himself. He was out wrestling Dawson in like a couple moments. He would get his own takedown, but just grappling with Dawson is such a bad idea because he is a good grappler. He's a good scrambler, and I don't think Preplik's on that level. So do I think Rebecca should be a minus 525? No, but I think stylistically Rebecca should still be able to win this, like either like a round 3 KO or like a really sludgy, he gets really badly cut up decision where he edges it out by bigger moments on the feet. And it's probably going to be a brawl, but I think he can get the finish round 3, and that is what I'm going to lean. So yeah, but this is very worrying for Rebecca because of how much he wears damage, or how easily he wears damage. Moving on to Dennis Bazooka versus Bogdan Grad. Real ones know when I had originally done my prediction for you for, was it Vancouver or Winnipeg? I was gonna pick Dennis Bazooka versus Mauricio Barboza, but I did that video I think the day after, or like I did late at night, like way later, or the day after, and I was gonna pick Dennis Bazooka against Mauricio Barboza. But when I re-recorded, I said, I think Bazooka is just going to get chinned in a round because he is kind of chinny, and boom, he did. He got chinned. He was getting dropped by Francis Marshall, who I don't think has the most power, but he can knock you down. But he was getting hurt, and that's how he lost to 29-28. Barboza brutally bombed him over the top of a big hook, brutally put him out cold. But he's like a decent striker. He's like a well-rounded fighter. He can out-grapple people. He can out-strike them, but he is a bit chinny. Bogdan Grad, he's a bit of an anomaly. I don't know. I feel like he could be good, but he's just not. He has power in the hands. He's dangerous. I'm not gonna say he has the craziest one-shot KO power, but he does shoot. He does push a crazy high pace. He has spinning attacks. He hasn't had the most success in the UFC. Who did he lose to? He lost to, I'm trying to remember his name. I don't know, but he just got knocked out by Luke Riley. That's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about the fight before that, where I thought he kind of got robbed. He got chinned in round 2 because he gassed out in round 1, and then moving lethargically, he got put in the pocket, got dropped. And honestly, Bogdan almost had the best performance against Luke Riley. Like, I don't think Michael Oswald did that good to how people were describing it. Oh wait, Bogdan Grad also fought Michael Oswald. He took him to a split decision. Muhammad Naimov, I thought he had won that. Maybe I was just being biased because I picked Grad that fight, but I thought Grad almost edged it out. But he does push a good pace. And he does have decent power in the hands. And I think he'll get a second round KO here after a really, really tricky round 1. Not finishing Michael Oswald Jr. is a feat. It's not the best win ever, but no one really finishes Michael Oswald Jr., so I'm not surprised Bogdan Grad did. But I think he should be able to KO Dennis Bazooka here. I think he has decent enough skill and decent enough power to be able to do it. I remember when people were talking about Bogdan Grad, like he was the next Marauder, the next monster coming up, and then fucking Luke Riley and Muhammad Naimov beat him. But I don't think I've picked a single Bogdan Grad fight right. I think I picked Lucas Alexander, whatever that guy's name was. I picked Bogdan Grad against Muhammad Naimov. I picked him against Luke Riley. So we'll see if I get this one wrong as well. I am going to lean Bogdan Grad by like second round KO. I don't think it'll be the first. Unless Bazooka's chin is completely shot, I think it'll come in the second. Moving on to Borislav Nikolak versus Mark Vologdin. Dude, Mark Vologdin's the underdog. I don't know who Borislav is. I saw his record, like it looked okay. I will look at it here. Like 16-2, it's a good record. But I just think Mark. There's a short notice for Nikolak. I'm just gonna say Borislav. I'm not gonna say his last name anymore. Sorry, I need water. So much rambling. I just think Mark Vologda's going to do it, man. He has good power. He's been in these wars. He's kind of like a Rebecca. Dude, I'm regretting picking him so badly. Now I just want to pick Borislav. Because I really don't know if I could trust Mark Vologda to win this. Because he hasn't won a fight. And Borislav could be like really good, and I just don't know it. You're probably wondering, oh, why didn't you watch tape on Borislav Nikolic? And I'm gonna be like, I don't know who this dude is. He's probably some good prospect, and I should probably have watched tape on him, but I just don't know who he is, so I'm not going to. I just want to get through these picks. Oh, now I want to switch my pick because I don't know. Have I only picked favorites up to this point? I have. Mark Vologda, you will be my underdog of the card. He did decently well against John Castaneda, and I thought Castaneda almost clearly won it until he got, like, I think a point deducted. So it ended up being a draw. I don't remember how that fight was scored. That was also on the Winnipeg card. But I'm just going to pick him here. He's dangerous. He's powered in the hands. And he is undersized, but Borisov's taking this on short notice. Vologda, he's at a camp. He trained for someone who is decently dangerous. He trained for Musasa, who has power in his hands. He is decently dangerous, but also not the best. I thought it was a good matchup for Vologda because I thought they were on a similar level, but Vologda would be a little bit better. But I am gonna have to pick him here. This is probably gonna be the pick where it's like, oh, of course he lost. He's not that good. Yeah. Moving on to Oban Elliott versus Michael Oliveira. Someone coming off the Contender Series that is super good. But we're gonna talk about Oban Elliott first. He's a decent striker. Can wrestle. Can scramble pretty well. He's coming off, I think, a couple of losses. The Seung Hyuk Ko loss, which maybe in hindsight isn't the worst, but also not the best, with how badly got dominated, but it's not the worst. Jonathan Mikalev subbed him in 2 rounds after hurting him and dropping him. He was doing decently well in the first, but then the second came, and I think he got dropped by the big goofy winning shots. And then you look at how Grimbo performed against Mikalev, and you see Ellie can survive to a decision. He's facing Michael Oliveira, who he fought some dude from recently in like some random Apex card. But Michael Oliveira is a very good, dangerous striker. He used to be in the army of Brazil. He's 9-0, reaching the Brazilian 10 soon. Victor Valenzuela. Yeah, that's who he fought. Victor Valenzuela, who had like a decent fight against Max Griffin. But I'm going to pick Michael Oliveira here by like round 2 KO. Round 1 or 2. Because if Oban Elliott got like, dude, he got dropped, I think, in the first round against John Mikalev, but it was like a flash knockdown, and then he kind of like was dominating the rest of the round with his boxing exchanges. But I think if you're getting knocked down by Mikalev, Oliveira should be able to do it as well, because he's nasty power. He can be patient in the first. He can find his shots. And Valenzuela is like a blockhead Latino that you see, and like he's like always on. He's gonna be on the prelims and stuff. So I think that Oliveira's gonna find a nasty KO here, like with the 1-2, or maybe he finds a hook over the top of Oban, switching stance or something. I can really see it. There's a nasty slime off for Oliveira here. And yeah, I'm going to pick it round 1 or 2. Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I think I was going to pick round 1, but I think Oliveira may try to stay patient. Maybe have a dominant first round, hurting Oban Elliott quite a bit, getting tagged himself. And then round 2, he finds a KO shot. Moving on to Ludwig Klein versus Tufik Musayev. Ludwig Klein coming off the Rebecca win. Yes, I said we were going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about him soon. Ludwig Klein is a fast southpaw boxer. He has amazing kicks as well. He can shoot offensively. Not the best takedown defense. If you push him to the fence and you chain wrestle, that is where he is weak. His initial sprawl and single leg defense can be decently good. Single leg a little bit less. Tufik Musayev is I think he's well rounded. He hasn't shown too much in the UFC, but he has decent power in his hands. He has pretty good grappling. Pretty good ground and pound as well. He's coming off the Bahamondes win, where he cheated a fuck ton. So I am hoping to get a hate watch here. Because you know who beat Bahamondes without cheats and outclassed him easily? Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein did that. I glazed him the second that this fight happened. I said, guess who didn't cheat? And beat him. And posted the picture of Ludovic Klein winning the decision. Tafik Musayev got dropped in the second round. I got saved due to him grabbing the fence. And then he ended up getting a takedown on Bahamondes. Bahamondes' takedown defense is far worse than Klein's. I think he also found the shot in southpaw. It was a 1-2, and I think Ludovic Klein has really good 1-2s, or he'll go for the lead, look for the rear hand. He'll bring up a kick upstairs. I just think he has all the skills to win this. Klein has disappointed me with his finishing ability, so I think he'll edge out a decision here. But I think he'll be able to defend the takedowns easily. I don't like that he's coming off a leg injury. He took some good time off, though. Had a little grappling match. I think he did okay against the Gamera. Obviously, he got dominated, but he didn't get subbed like Ribovics. And in moments, he has a good sprawl, and I don't think Musayev is like the chain wrestler that a Gamrot is. Moises wasn't really getting takedowns either on Ludovic Klein. And you could say Musayev is a better has better takedowns, but I just think Klein's better than him. I think he's good enough takedown defense. He'll be able to defend Tafik's takedowns. He will outspeed him on the feet. And I think he has decent enough power, and I think he'll rock him, he'll sting him, he'll defend the takedowns, but I think he'll win like a 29-28 where he gets smudged against the fence in a round or something. He can slow down, so that is worrying. But he slows down due to how fast and explosive he is, especially in a bit of a higher pace round fights where he's like putting in big, long combinations. He can't slow down. But I think maybe he'll drop Tafik and Tafik will survive, or Ludovic Klein will get on top of Tafik and then he'll drag out the round or something. I think I could see something like that happening. Because Klein does drop people. He was staying Bahamondes on the feet. I think he stung Gamrot with like a jab once. He was dropping Moises a couple times. He didn't finish him. Jared Gordon, the anomaly of, I'm saying anomaly too much on this card, was able to KO Moises in a round. But I think Klein is good enough to do it, and I think he'll win by decision. I wouldn't be too surprised by KO, but I think maybe I don't know, does Bahamondes better KO power? Maybe. Maybe I'm just blind by the Manuel Torres KO. But yeah, I'm going to pick Ludovic Klein by decision, but there's a chance he gets a KO. Maybe Tafik isn't able to get his cheats off. Maybe it's in the center of the cage, and he drops him or something. But Klein has good fence work as well. He will rip combinations against the fence. He's good with that. The way he finished AJ Cunningham, I think it was a lead hook and then a left hand and left straight. That's what dropped Tafik against Bahamondes. Obviously, Klein isn't as big as Bahamondes, but I think he has really long arms. So he could find that shot. He could put Musayev down, but I don't think he'll get the finish. Moving on to Milos Janacek versus Noah Gunan. I don't know these people, man. You can see the records here. Milos is far more experienced. Noah has some decent wins on his book, under his wing. And I looked at the odds earlier. Dude, people are really trusting Noah Gunan. I'm gonna pick Milos Janacek here by just minorly being the far more experienced guy. He has some decent wins on his record as well. I'm just gonna pick him due to him having the more experience, and I don't know. That's kind of all I have. I don't like that he has a little Mario mushroom tattoo though. That is a bit worrying as a pick. I don't really like seeing that. I don't know if I could trust a dude with a Mario mushroom tattoo, but we'll see. We'll see. I just don't know. Like, these are two debuts, and I hate when the UFC does this. Other than when it's like two Dana White Contender Series fights or fighters, I just hate seeing these two debutants fight each other because there's like such little information on them. But moving on, Vlasto versus Vlasto Shepo. I don't know how I'm fucking up his name so badly. Vlasto Shepo versus Gilbert Urbina. Vasyl Sheboy, seemingly like a marauder, a very powerful striker. Urbina, tall, lanky striker. He's kind of chinny. I'm gonna say that I think he gets dropped pretty easily. He just got KO'd by, I think Uros Magic was his last fight. I think if Shep was as, this is also up a weight class for Urbina, and Urbina is a pretty tall dude. I think he was bigger than Medic, but Medic is only like 6'1", but maybe he's a little bit tall. No, he seems like 6'1". And Urbina's looking pretty much like a little bit bigger than him. I'm gonna pick Shepo here by KO. This should be really easy for him because Urbina's chinny, and Urbina's kind of shit. It's crazy that Shepo has more fights than Urbina, but Urbina's like one of these like 2018 to 2022 tough fighters that they just get signed and they're actually like pretty fucking awful. And yeah, Urbina also got chinned by Charles Radican, I think in a round, so that's a pretty bad look. So gonna go Chepo here by round 1 KO. I think it's gonna be a brutal flatline, and he's gonna win in his hometown. I think is he Serbian? Okay, cool. UFC, he doesn't tell me. Oh wait, Slovakian. He's Slovakian, like Ludovic. Okay, well, moving on to Dusko Todorovic versus Robert Valentin. Is this the feature fight of the card? No, it's not. Okay, good. Versus Robert Valentin. Valentin, almost a Yuri-like striker. He has good Muay Thai, his elbows, his knees, his front kicks. He sets people up pretty well. He has pretty good jiu-jitsu. That's mainly his grappling. He doesn't really have good wrestling as shown in the Ryan Loader fight. But he beat some random dude in his last bout and got the win and got a good round 1 sub. Dusko Todorovic, I don't know what he really does. He's decent grappling. He beat Medina by TKO in the first round right after Tebagel's hair did it. Canelon loses a couple fights. Lost to Zachary Reese by decision, but that was he made it pretty close with the grappling. This is a tough fight, man. This egghead, Dusko Todorovic, and then Robert Valentin just kind of sucks. I'm gonna lean Dusko. I don't know. I guess I can see why he's the underdog, because he really just hasn't done anything other than beat Medina. But I could see him out wrestling Robert Valentin here and again, and just getting a finish while on top. He has a good ground and pound. That's how he finished Medina, like brutal ground and pound. I think. Maybe he subbed him. I think he subbed him. But yeah, I remember him landing brutal ground and pound where he almost KO'd him and had him cut really badly. And I think he'd do the same here against Valentin, his offensive or his defensive wrestling I don't think is the best, but he's pretty good offensive grappling himself, and his jiu-jitsu is pretty clean, but I don't think it'll be that good against Dusko here. I'm just gonna pick Dusko by decision. Maybe round 2 finish. Maybe round 1. Maybe round 1 finish, or maybe he gets it dragged out to a close decision. Moving on to Alexander Rakic versus Marcin Tybura. Rakic, a technical kickboxer. Marcin Tybura, a crafty grappler. And some decent striking on the side. Rakic coming off a bad losing streak. Lost to Yuri by round 2 KO. Lost to Ankalaev by decision. I made it pretty close with Ankalaev though. And then got chinned by a jab from Rizikhanov. Tybura off a loss streak as well, I think. I think he lost to Fortune and he lost to the Legion before that. But before that, I think he had won against Denise and Mick Parkin. This is tough, man. I'm going to pick Rakic, but I'm not the most confident because Tybura could still be good. I'm sorry, Marcin Tybura fan on Twitter, if you're watching this prediction video, but I am going to have to pick against your boy. I just don't like how Tybura has looked recently. Making it that close with Tyrell Fortune, who's coming in on short notice, isn't the best look in my opinion. Fortune looked okay against Kuniev, but Kuniev just put belt to ass. And I didn't really get to watch round 2. I missed the entire round, so I don't know how this fight is, how that fight could have been scored. I scored round 1 for Fortune, round 3 for Tybura. I don't know how round 3 went, or round 2 went. But Rakic is still good. Like, I think Rakic's weaknesses have been his fight IQ and his chin. Right? Like, he had the perfect game plan to beat Yuri, but then Yuri just outdogged him. Ankalaev, he just chose to lose the third round, even though it was close. And I think it was like 1-1 going to the third, but his corner was telling him it was 2-0 him. And he let the fight go away and lost the decision by like clinching and being on the back foot. Then against Mirzakhanov, he's like smudge grappling in the sense of just blasting kicks in the open stance. I think he could be able to blast kicks here. I think he has good enough of grappling to defend it off Tybura. And yeah, I think he'll just beat up Tybura and take him to like a walk-off decision, similar to the Anthony Smith performance. He'll just walk-off decision, Tybura. I don't think he'll get a KO. Maybe Tybura's chin is chopped. He was getting rocked by Fortune, got chinned by the Legia. And if you're fast, you can chin Tybura. That's what the Legia showed. But I don't know, will heavyweight Rakic have KO power? Maybe he like softens him up with kicks and stuff, and then he finds a KO that way. But also, by the way, the way the UFC just reuses that manual KO from Rakic. Maybe he gets a KO here like that, maybe where he gets like he lands some good shots and then he finds a head kick out of nowhere and hurts Tybura and finishes him there. But I kind of doubt it. I'm just gonna pick Rakic by decision. And yeah. Oh shit. Jan Blachowicz versus Navajo Sterling. Jan Blachowicz, a good kickboxer. He has some pretty good grappling as well. Coming off a bad, well, not a loss streak, but he has draws, he has wins, or losses, I mean. He's coming off the draw with Bogdan Guskov, which in hindsight is a bit worse than we thought. Because Guskov literally had nothing for Ankalaev. Sterling is coming off the Ian Kutalaba win, where he was able to TKO him in round 2 after defending some of the grappling and put in bad positions with sub attempts. I think Jan Blachowicz is cooked. I think he's kind of done. The surgeries, constant surgeries he's had. I made a video about it. Maybe I'll put it over. I think it's over here. Yeah, I'll put it over here. I made a video about how the UFC hates Jan, but the results Jan has had is kind of bad. Yes, he was able to make it close with Oberg. Yes, he made it close with Pereira. He made it close with Ankalaev. Got a draw off him. But the Guskov performance is really bad. And I think it's because the wear and tear on how he keeps getting injured. He keeps getting these surgeries that keep him out for so long. He didn't fight for ages, I think. He didn't fight all of 2023, I think. He didn't fight all of 2024, I mean. He fought Pereira in like December or something like that. But maybe not really. I think he fought way earlier. He had a long layoff between the Pereira fight and then the Oberg fight. And I think that was in 2025. Or, yeah, early 2025, maybe. The late 2025, he fights Guskov. And then Guskov knocks him down bad. I think Sterling's a better striker than Guskov. Technically, I think he has all the skills to beat Blachowicz, but Blachowicz is good. But if Navajo trains in CKB, he could probably just try to implement what Oberg did, but like with some minor tweaks. I thought Oberg beat Jan Blachowicz. Not clearly, but I thought he edged it out. And I was like, okay, this would probably be a split decision, but they'll probably give it to Oberg. Most people call that fight a robbery. I don't mind it, but I do think Oberg won. And I think Jan getting dropped by Guskov, I think now that shows that his chin's cooked as well. Jan's always had this plotty style, but I think age has made him worse. He has good low kick defense, yes. He has good defense overall. Like, he has pretty good defense with his guard and the kicks. But I think Navajo can find the right hand on the pipe. He can find the low left hook. He loves the low left hook. And I think he'll just win a decision. I don't think he'll kill Jan Blachowicz. There's a chance. But the fact that Jan was able to survive against Guskov and not get finished, even though he was getting ground and pounded then for the rest of the round after getting dropped, maybe Navajo just lets him back up and if he drops Jan, he'll let him back up and he'll finish him that way. But I don't know. I just think Sterling's gonna win. I really think Sterling's he gets a better fight to fight, I think. I don't know. I think he's really grown into himself since his like early 3 fights with even Urslang and Tuco Tacos. I think he's grown since then. Found the KO against Bruno Silva or Bruno Lopez. It was Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez, he was able to get the KO over. Should have gone it earlier, but he was able to get the KO, and it should have been earlier due to the ref just stopping it. But then, Ian Kutalaba, he hurt him with a knee. No one really saw it. He hurt him with a knee, got the TKO that way. I think Sterling will edge it out. I don't think he's gonna blow Jan out the park. Do I think he should be minus 320? No, not at all. But for where they are in their careers, Jan hasn't won in ages. Since what? When was the last Jan win? I don't think he's won in 5 years. And that sucks to see because Jan's good. I think Jan's good. He's still technically there, but I just think physically, the shoulder injuries. How many shoulder injuries can you get before you're done? I think he's a knee surgery as well. How many of these surgeries can you get before your body really gives up and you're not able to perform at the same level you were before? And it sucks because Jan's cool. His last win was Izzy. No, it was Rakic where he got a leg injury over him. Wow, that really sucks for Rakic. I think that had Rakic out for ages as well. Yeah, that leg injury had him out for 2 years until the Yuri fight. And it was supposed to be Jan Blachowicz. He was supposed to fight in 2024 as well. I remember. And then he had called him out for 300, and then it was Yuri. Man. And then after that, he goes on and scared. He doesn't fight for all of 2024. Because I remember he fought Pereira at the... It was in July of 2023. I don't know why I thought it was at the end. I'm mixing up Alex versus Yuri. And the whole 2024 goes by. 2025 in March, he fights Oberg. And he keeps getting these injuries. He pulled out against Guskov. He pulled out against Guskov when they were originally booked at 328. Injury. Now he's back. Here. It's just how many injuries. And he's like 42. I just can't trust Jan at this point to get it done. You know? I'm going to have to pick Novel Sterling to win by decision. Moving on to the main event. Uros Medic versus Daniel Rodriguez. Uros Medic, a fast striker with nasty KO power. He's really either finished or be finished or KO would be KO'd early. Daniel Rodriguez is a southpaw boxer. Decent combinations. He is coming off the win off. I think he's on a win streak, actually. Ponzinibbio. He might have beat Morono, Ponzinibbio, then Kevin Holland. Medic is also on a good win streak where he's beat Urbina, Salikov, and then Jeff Neal. Wait. It's a really good one. I watched tape for this fight. I watched D-Rod versus Holland. I don't want to break this down for too long. I think I've been rambling a little bit too much for this video. And I don't really want it to be too long of a prediction video for a card that no one really cares about. But I watched tape for this fight. And I think that D-Rod, this is a main event that is clearly set to just get Uros a free win in his hometown of Serbia. But there's a chance Daniel Rodriguez wins it. I think D-Rod, there's two things that D-Rod can do. Press with the double jab and find that lead hook. Soriano was able to KO Uros Medic when Uros Medic went for a body shot. When Uros was exiting, he found the right hook and then followed it up and swarmed Medic after he had hurt him. Daniel Rodriguez can do the same thing. He was swarming Holland. After finding the left hook upstairs, he could do something similar. But what was messing up, what is there for D-Rod is shots around the guard when he shoves up. The front kick to his body because of how square he is. And high kicks. Holland was able to switch it up. He would go low, go high. Front kick, go high. And Uros Medic loves himself a teep. He'll teep someone in orthodox. He'll teep someone who is in southpaw. It doesn't matter. He'll use the front leg to teep. He'll use the rear leg to teep. If it's there for him, he'll go for it. I think against Neo, he even looked for the high kick. Salikov, he rocked him with the high kick after finding it, after using the front kick. And he presses and he finds reads fast. I think if there was someone to have beat Uros Medic, it would have been Jeff Neal, not D-Rod. Jeff Neal is just a faster, better boxer. He's just a faster boxer than D-Rod. His hands are just faster, his movements faster. D-Rod's plotty as fuck. And he's stiff, the way he throws the cross to the body may be good here for him, but he drops his hands so low when he does it. And like, he's not really, when he does that, he's not really moving. He's like changing levels, but his hand, like, because of how stiff and square he is, he's there to be hit, and that's how Holland kept catching him when he would go to the body. And Medic will immediately capitalize on that, and then bang, fire a little hook. He doesn't have the reach of Holland, but he gets close, he gets in people's faces, and he finds that shot. Both are in southpaw, so the left hands for both won't really be there, but the hooks for Medic will be there. He'll find the left hook against you, put him out. Pop, 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 pop. Found the left hook over the top. Sent fucking Jeff Neal's snot on his nose. And I think it's going to be something similar here. I think it'll be more similar to Salikov. I know Salikov was a orthodox striker, but Medic was able to find the head kick, and I think that's something he's going to do here. I think he's going to press D-Rod with front kicks, and he's going to find, I think he's going to find like a head kick or something off the lead maybe, hurt and stumble D-Rod, and then he's going to rip shots around the guard, find an uppercut or a knee, I think something like that, something up the middle when D-Rod like dips his head a little bit when he gets swarmed, and I think Uros just will capitalize against that. Holland would have D-Rod against like this against the fence, and he would try to time a knee, but it was the slowest flying knee ever. Instead of just looking for like uppercuts and shit. And Holland throws very slappy. Medic keeps it tight and clean. That's how he killed Jeff Neal. Keeping it tight and clean. The hooks tight. He keeps everything in the hooks tight and nice. Defensively, I think he's gotten better as well since the Soriano performance. He's still a bit of a class candidate, obviously. He's chinny, but I don't think D-Rod's going to be the dude to do it. When he would swarm Holland with the fucking Lego figure, action figure, slappy, like, swarming, it wouldn't really land, because Holland would just still get out, like, maybe on the hand or on the shoulder, and Holland's doing good just getting out of it. He would still get clipped here and there, but that combination wasn't really landing as much as I like remembered it. When I watched the fight, I was like, dude, none of that's really landing. Like, even to the body, it's like tapping, because he's so stiff with everything he does. I think that's just such a good performance for Medic to be coming off of the Jeff Neal fight, that like he should be a lock here. He should just dust up D-Rod and make easy work of him, make a statement to the division. Maybe look to fight Leon near the end of the year. I saw Buckley versus Maligan announced. So, I don't really know what else to say about this fight. This is a shit main event. I'll end it off with this. I'll end it off with, this is a bad main event. This is a good featured fight of a good fight night card, or for, I guess, for nowadays standards, this is a good co-main for a fight night. This is a good maybe opener to a main card. Maybe not opener, but maybe it is. They put like these exciting fights on the like openers, and then put like something else on there after it, and then they stank the rest of the card with higher ranked fights. But this could have been put on like this could have, like, if this, the fact Guskov was going to be under this and Jan, it's because he's from Serbia. If he was a Serbian, I feel like they could have put this anywhere else, and this would have been a good co-main. Jan versus Guskov would have been a good main event. Not really. But like, we're just having two bad main events back to back. Ankalaev, Guskov, and then this. Ankalaev, Guskov was supposed to be Ankalaev, Khalil, and that's a good main event. And at least Ankalaev, Guskov has like some, like, it matters somewhat. Ankalaev's a number one contender. There's a logjam in like heavyweight. This is literally 14 and 15. The loser probably just gets kicked out the rankings. And that's the severity of it. And at least like Guskov was coming in short notice, so I was like, alright, you can give it like some leeway because of the fact that like it's short notice and that's not what it actually was supposed to be the event. But Guskov is trying to save it, and it just didn't hit the same. So it, like no one cared. But Uros is really exciting. So okay, I guess this is gonna be a better main event. But I think it's a worse main event in main event standards. But I think fight entertainment wise, this is better. But ranking wise and like what matters, it's worse. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna pick a Uros match by Rowan KO. I think it's gonna be against the fence. I don't think it's gonna be a flat line. I don't really remember the last person to knock out D-Rod. I think it was Ian Gary, and I think he found a head kick on him. And I think Uros match can do the same. Now I'm thinking about it, so everything's coming together. But I think he'll be rocking with like a head kick or something after deeping the body and pressing him back. I think D-Rod's gonna try. I think D-Rod's gonna try pressing it back with the double jab and stuff, and then with the swarming combination. But I think Uros is gonna counter it, and D-Rod starts low with those. I'm going back to the fight breakdown, but he starts really low with the with that like slappy combo he did against Holland, where he's literally like he starts low, he goes body high, and I think if he goes body high with Mensch is just gonna counter him. He's gonna find a fucking hook or a shot over the top or a right hook. When D-Rod puts that left hand down, he's gonna maybe find the right hook. I can see that going one two ways. Maybe Uros countering D-Rod when he comes in sloppily, or he rocks D-Rod with a head kick and then finishes him against the fence with a big combo and ends it off with like something up the middle. I think those are the two ways I'm seeing this fight happening. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who are you guys picking for this main event? Do you guys like this main event? Let me know. It's not the best card. To be fair, this card would be way better if you replace these two fights with Ludovic Klein versus Tufik and honestly Oban versus Oliveira. I think if you put those two fights on the main card, this is like, oh shit, this is like a pretty stacked main fight night main card. And then prelims are fucking slop. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, jazzlovesmma. If you're watching this video, you probably already do follow me on Twitter. Does that make sense? And I'll catch you guys in the next time. I have 2 videos planned for the rest of this week. Unless fight news come out, then maybe I'll have 3. But tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna probably try to drop a rant video on the rankings. Once again, I'll catch you guys then. Peace.